But that's something that you have to understand, that that is not possible.
Good protection. You're not gonna hold me down. No, I'd rather be alone. Can't go hold me down. You can't tell me what to do, where to go, how to dress. Me no papi show. Me a the star, so me a no fan of you. Do me wanna follow you. Me not itch up under no man arm like Roland. Boss position, so no boy can't try program me. Rebel from day one. Real bad girl, so no boy can't try program me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm talking a little softer than how I normally talk, and that's because I'm going to be doing a sit down and talk. Now this one's going to be a serious conversation, something real deep, and something that I went through that I want to be able to help other younger people go through this, even people that's my age that's going through this now. And I think this is like the best advice that I can give based on what I went through growing up, having parents that separated. So before this whole video starts, don't forget to like, comment below what you want me to do next, and also don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my social media, all linked down below, and let's just get this video started. Alright, so I wrote down a little bit of notes on my iPad, which is just right here. Just so that I could keep on topic, or keep on track of what I'm talking about. So I have to go grab my phone real quick. Hold on. Alright, so we're going to start off with the story time. So, basically the story time, right? So, I was in like grade 3, grade 4 when my parents got separated. And, let me just bring this up a little bit. It says right on me. Sorry. And, basically, I didn't know what to do as like a kid that age. Like, I was confused. I didn't know what like it all meant. Like, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm gonna say my mama, like, what else? And honestly, there's a lot of people that do different things. So I know for a fact that when my friend's parents got separated, I believe she was doing every weekend at her dad's house. I think, I don't really remember, but like some people do things differently. Like I know Cheyenne and Corey on Team Mom, Next Generation. I believe that their daughter does every weekend with their dad, with her dad. So there's different ways to do it. So for me, I was doing every week, 1 week with my mom, 1 week with my dad. And it was an equal, fair share amount, whatever the saying is. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I was fine with that. So eventually I ended up switching it up, and that was just because I got tired of like moving back and forth. Like, when I got to like high school, so I believe I was doing every other week with my dad. I think, or every other weekend with my dad, or something like that. Because it was getting to the point where I was just irritated. Like, and I was feeling like that because it's like I'm doing so much. Like, it's like I have to move from this house to that house to this house to that house to this house, and then it's like I have to move these items to that house to that. I like, and it's like so much for me. Like, for me, I like to carry around a lot of stuff, so it was always like my laptop, my phone or iPad or tab, whatever. My Nintendo Switch. Like, I like to carry a lot of stuff, so I always have bags, and more bags. And it was just a lot. Like, and then sometimes I'll forget stuff where I'm like, I needed this for school, or I needed this, and it's like, it's so hard for me to be able to stay organized, to remember things, to, you know. And then another thing is like, and I'm not gonna say who was who, but at one house it was like one standard rule, and then it's like I go to this person's house, and it's like a whole separate thing. It's like, oh, at this house I'm eating this, but then at this house it's like I'm going to school with like all this food, and it's like, in my mind, I'm like, why couldn't it just stay the same? Like, cause like truthfully, and I'm gonna be real, like, I just felt that it was unfair. Like, why am I going to school at this person's house with like a sandwich, cookies, and a juice box? But then when I'm going to this person's house, like, I got a juice box. I'm got like fruit. I got a whole bunch of like stuff in my bag, and it's like, but why can't I do that at this person's house? And it's like a lot of things I questioned because I was like, okay, if I could do that at this house, why can't I do it at this house? But then that's not fair that I do this at the, and it just like confused me, and it also angered me because it was like, I don't understand, like, I just don't get it. It's just like, I want to be able to do what I do here, there, and what I do there, here. Like, and it's just like something that you have to understand. And I don't know what age you are watching this, but that's something that you have to understand, that that is not possible. Like, for instance, just because you're able to watch TV past 12 a.m. at this person's house doesn't make it okay to be watching TV, movies, whatever, at 12 a.m. at that person's house. Like, I'm just using that as an example, not saying that that was my situation, because it wasn't. But that I just found that to be unfair. Excuse me, sorry. Whew. So another thing that I had trouble with, or that really annoyed me, or that confused me, is being able to invite both parents. No, depending on what your situation is, because you do have some parents that are really good at co-parenting. Not saying that my parents, but there are some people where, like, I'm gonna use Cheyenne and Corey from Team Mom for example, just to give an example, just so it'll make sense. I'm also gonna speak on some other people that I know whose parents that are separated as well. So, for instance, like, their daughter, Rada, had a birthday party, and she's able to have the mom, the mom's husband, and her actual dad at the party, right? But then, we're gonna give you the bigger perspective of everything. She's able to have her grandma, her grandma's husband, right? Her grandpa, and I believe he has a wife. I could be wrong. But it's like they're able to be cordial around each other. And growing up, I was like, I just always had that thought, like, invite my parents somewhere and it's not gonna go okay. Invite my parents somewhere and it's not gonna go okay. And like, that was really what was always going through my head. And I honestly don't know why I always thought that. I was like, this is gonna be disastrous. And I thought that before even trying it. Like, and honestly, I wish I would have tried it sooner than later. Because just because your parents are not cool or they're separated does not mean that they're not, like, it's your day, your event, whatever you invited them to, they will be cordial no matter what. Like, that is, like, real 1-on-1 of be there for your daughter, be there for your son, no matter what. And I remember having an event, not going to say what event that was, but I was getting awarded, well, I got nominated for stuff, or categories. And I had invited both my parents. And the thing about it is, I didn't even think it was going to go okay. But it did. And then same thing for graduation day as well. Like, I don't know what made me think that it would have been terrible. And I think that's just something that was in my head. And it's like, you have to stop letting your thoughts take over. Because in reality, like, sometimes your thoughts are wrong. Like, just because it's in your mind does not mean that it's not going to work out or it's going to go crazy. Like, in reality, like, you have to first try it. And if it does not work out, then at least you tried it. So now you know what to do next time. Like, that's another thing. It's like, You have to stop letting your thoughts hinder what's really gonna happen, or keep you back from what's really happening. And another thing as well is that this is a big factor, right? And this is one thing that I want to speak on for sure, because I've seen so many different point of views of this, and some people's point of views is like terrible, and then the other people's point of views is like okay. And I have to say this, when both my parents got remarried, I was fine with whoever they got married to, and I have no issue with them, nothing whatsoever. Like, and I'm gonna speak on one parent. So one parent I actually really got to know that person that they got married to, even before they got married. So, I love being around them, whatnot. Like, there's no issue. Um, it's just that I'm not gonna really speak much on this because I don't wanna say the wrong thing or anything like that. But there were some issues before, and it just changed my point of view. And I'm not saying like relationship wise with that person, nah. Cause like still to today, like I'm fine with them. But there were some issues that did occur, and I have to say that what happens in one household must stay in that household. And I honestly have to say that again. What happens in one household should stay in that one household, unless it seriously needs to involve the other parent. Like, for instance, let's say you're in elementary school, right? And you're playing on the playground and you bust your knee where you have to get surgery. Of course, that parent must know. But let's say, for instance, another thing, right? Let's say you're at your parent's house, right? I'm just going to keep calling parent A, parent B, just because I don't feel like putting anybody out there or experience and all of that. But let's say at parent A's house, right? And let's say, for instance, your stepmom, your stepdad buys you a birthday cake, right? And to celebrate your birthday. Please do not go running back to parent B and be like, oh yeah, they bought me a birthday cake. They bought me, like, no. Because, like, and it all goes back to what I said. What happens at one household must stay at that household. Because if you go ahead and run it back to parent B or A, whomever, it's definitely going to cause some trouble. And I learned my lesson for sure. So, yeah. And it's not, like, my situation really was not that bad, to be honest. Like, it really wasn't that bad. But it's all about sometimes, and another thing as well that I do want to say is when your parents get separated, you have to learn how to take care of yourself. And I know that sounds crazy, like you have parents and no. Like, you have to learn how to take care of yourself, for sure. And I'm saying all of this because learn how to do your hair, learn how to iron your clothes, learn how to pick out your clothes. And it depends on how old you are, really. I would say if you're like grade 3 and onwards, this like definitely is for you. Oh, and I'm saying this because like you do have some like little children under that age be watching. But I have to say that if you're in like, I would say 3 and onwards, then yeah. Like, learn how to clean up after yourself. Learn how to clean the bathroom. Learn how to clean your room. Learn how to brush your teeth correctly. And I know this sounds crazy, and you're probably like, why are you telling me this information? I'm telling you this because you do not want to become dependent of your parents. And I'm saying this because they're obviously going through a separation, and let's say maybe they're going to do lawyers and courts and all that stuff, for instance, like. And sometimes your parents may not have the time to really be taking care of you. And I don't mean it in no disrespect or anything like that or whatnot. As well as you don't want to become dependent of your step parent as well. And I'm saying this because sometimes that could also cause drama and problems as well. And parent A or B might be upset that their step parent is doing stuff for you, like, oh, like, for instance, and no, this was not my situation or anything like that. I'm just putting out a disclaimer. This is not my situation. I'm just using this as an example, just so that it don't come off wrong. Let's say, for instance, I am, let's say, I'm trying to find something so that it doesn't come off wrong or it doesn't come close to any of my situations. So it don't make sense. Let's say you're in grade 3, right? Because some people, and I'm just using this as an example, you're in grade 3, right? And you learn how to tie your shoes, right? And this is just an example, not saying that this will happen, not saying that this has happened, but let's say, not even, let's say maybe you might be even younger than that. And you learn how to tie your shoes, right? And your step parents teaching you how to tie your shoes. Like, your other parent might get jealous. Like, why they teaching my daughter or son how to tie their shoe? Or not only just that, but another situation like learning how to swim, learning how to ride your bike, all that stuff. Like, and sometimes parents might get jealous because it's like, oh, I don't get to experience that journey with my daughter, my son. Oh, why did you do this to my daughter, my son? Like, and it's different things like that. And honestly, don't get upset when your parent gets mad at the step parent. And that was one thing that I wish I like really learned, because it kind of made me upset. Like, man, a certain situation occurred, and it's like I never told that parent this. Still to today, sorry, I got a little emotional, but still to today, like I never really told that parent that, and that was because it was something that I held back. And while your parents are going through separation, I 100% want to say, please speak up. Like, and that was one thing I wish that I did. Now, certain parents, I did speak up, and other parents, like, not really. And it's like, I was selective about what I was speaking up about, which is like, don't be selective. Like, if you're feeling some type of way, like, make sure you say something. Like, if you heard that they got separated, I was about to use the other word, divorce. I really try not to use that word, so then it doesn't sound like scary and hurtful and whatnot. So, I mean, that might be the title. I don't know. But if your parents got separated, right? I just have to say, like, make sure you speak up. Like, make sure you let them know how you really feel about the whole situation. Um, like, maybe you hated moving. And honestly, when I hated moving back and forth once a week, I actually spoke up when I felt like it was my time to stop doing that. Because at a certain age, you have to figure out whose house are you going to permanently live at. And I don't mean like you're there 24/7, 24/7. Like every other weekend you might go to this person's house, or every other week you might go to this person's house or whatever. But just voice your opinions on how you feel about the whole situation. It's better to do that rather than to hold back your emotions. And that is one thing that I wish I did earlier than later. One thing I said one thing, there's a bunch of things I have to say. So this is like more my advice side. So I have to say, make sure you stay organized, make sure you have everything that you need. And I'm saying this because there were times where I forgot stuff at this parent's house or that parent's house. So make sure you have everything that you need, like school wise, or extra stuff wise. I would say get yourself into a activity. Now, for me, I used to go to a youth group every Friday night, and it was so much fun. And I loved it. And that was something that it took me a while to like really love. And well, I wouldn't say it took me a while because I actually loved it from the start. But it had taken me a little bit of a while to go when I was at my mom's house. Now, I might bring up certain little points. My light is actually dying. I might actually need to use a different one. And I have no idea where my other light is. Anyway, so And certain times I might say mom or dad because I'm like here sharing that, but other times like I'm not. Because then it's going to be like, oh, you're directing this to that, and like, no, I'm not trying to. But it took me a little while to like say to my mom like, hey, I want to go to my youth group on Friday night, and because I wanted to consistently keep going, because I was going like every other Friday, and it like was not consistent. So I remember speaking to one of my leaders talking about this, and I was like, I don't know how I feel like if I ask my mom, like, and to be honest, I don't know why, like, growing up, I was so scared to ask parents certain things. Like, just because your parents are separated, and this is an activity, like, if this is an activity you love to do, like baby soccer, karate, football, tennis, like I said, youth group, or an after school something, like, any type of thing, like, if this is something that you love and you want to keep up doing, don't be afraid to ask or have your parents take you. Like, because I started going to youth group when I was at my dad's house. My dad actually told me about it and took me down there so I could have something to do on a Friday night. Or not even just a Friday night, but in general, like something for me to do because I had no activity. And that was my activity. And it was every Friday night. And I want to say 7 or 8 till 10, something like that. I can't remember. But it was so much fun. Like, I'm not going to get into details of that because that is not the story. But it's just like to keep your mind off of your parents being separated. Like, make sure you do something. And I'm saying some activity because this gives you self-care. Like, you're caring for yourself. You got yourself into something, some activity. Make sure you love yourself. Like, don't lose yourself throughout this whole process. Talk to somebody. Like, maybe you might want to talk to somebody that's parents or their parents have already been separated. They might be able to help you and give you advice, aka me, as you watch this video. Maybe you might want to go to therapy to talk about how you feel. I did go to therapy a few times too, and I wasn't going to therapy for that reason, but we ended up speaking. Excuse me. We ended up speaking about that. Anyways, if you don't want to go to therapy, then speak to somebody that, like, outside of your family, like maybe a family friend that might be able to help you. And I would say choose somebody that could be neutral, somebody that's not picking a side. Like, you don't want to choose somebody that's best friends with your mom and then best friends with your dad. Like, the worst. Because they're like, and you want to be neutral about it, to be honest. And what I mean by that, like, let me go over what I said, because what I just said made no sense. But what I mean is, like, don't choose somebody that's best friends with your mom, and then you're gonna, like, sit there and talk. Because obviously, like, on your mom's side, but then you don't want to choose somebody that's best friends with your dad, because then on your dad's side, like, you want somebody that's neutral, somebody that's, like, gonna be understanding on both sides, or, you know, make sure you, like, have patience. I'm sorry. It's like late at night as I'm recording this, so that I'm like yawning. But make sure you take a deep breath. Make sure you have patience. And I'm saying this because there will be times where your parents may disagree or your parents are like not at their best. And it's definitely can take a toll, not just on them, but on you as well. So you want to have patience. Like, don't try to argue with them. Don't try to make things worse. Like, that is one thing I wish I knew. Or, well, I knew, but I wish that I, like, really actually paid attention to that. And the last thing that I have to say before I end this video is it's okay to cry. Like, if you're upset that your parents are divorced and they're not getting back together, it's okay to cry. Like, truthfully, me even saying that statement makes me want to cry because there were times where I was in therapy and I said, I wish that my parents could get back together. Like, I really do. And that's something that's not gonna happen. Sorry, I got a little bit emotional. That's something that's not gonna happen, and you have to come to a realization that is not gonna happen. Like, and you have to have realization that they will move on, they will find somebody else. And I'm not saying that they will find somebody else, because there are some parents that, you know, single for the rest, and that's okay. Like, that's when you have to love on your parent, and sometimes you have to love who they bring in. And I have to say this is when they bring in somebody else, make sure you get to know who they are before they get married. That is my advice, and that's something that I wish that I did, because I didn't. To one of my parents, not. And I have no hate or nothing against this person at all. Like, my parent is happy, and that's who they're with. So yeah. I have to also say that before I end out, is that if you are having a rough time, it's okay, and things will be hard. It's like, truthfully, it's really not easy. Sorry, I'm getting emotional, but it's something that's never gonna be easy, and it's something that you have to take one step at a time. And like this video, truthfully, I wish that there was something. And mind you, I've never really searched out videos like this or whatnot, and this is like probably gonna be my real deepest advice conversation sit down with you guys. And I'm saying this because my whole channel, or my whole goal for this channel, is so that I can help the younger generation. Not just the younger generation, but anybody that's watching my videos. I want to be able to help you give advice. And because I want to talk about experiences that I've been through, so that I can help anybody who's watching my videos. And if this does reach you, like I said, just take one day at a time, step by step. Like, I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be difficult. I know you're going to probably be like, I want to stay with this parent so long. I want to stay with that parent so long. Like, I truthfully, honestly have to say that my best advice would be to start off 1 week with one parent and another week with another parent. Just try that and see how it goes. And I think that's the best to start off with. And then when you get older, like maybe like late middle school, early high school age, that's when I think, in my advice, that you should change it up. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe every other week with that parent. Maybe every other weekend with that parent. Who knows? But just switch it up, because you are getting older, and you don't want to be doing that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for a very long time. And I wish that I had changed my 1 week a lot sooner than I did. So, this is basically my video. I hope that I was able to help you guys go through your parents being separated. And if you guys want any more advice on this, or you want to talk to me even more, like, my DMs are open. I'm here to help. You can comment down below. If you want to speak privately, like I said, my DMs are open. My Instagram's linked down below. You can even like message me on Snapchat if you want to. You can even send me a little email, like write up a whole paragraph, whatever your heart desires. And I'm always here to help out. Like, I'm 22 years old and I'm still like going through this. And like I said, it's one step a day. Take one day at a time. And this is something that you would have to go through for the rest of your life. Like, this isn't something that's never gonna end. Like, it all depends. Like, everybody has different stages, and I'm still going through my stages. And everybody's stages are very different depending on who's who. Like, sometimes your parents might be real cool with being around each other. Sometimes your parents may not be cool with being around each other. It's all, everybody's story is different. So, before this video, and don't forget to like, comment down below any type of thing you want for this video. If you need some advice, if you just want to say something, if you just want to thank me, And don't forget to subscribe, and as well as follow me on my social media link down below. Like I said, if you want to DM me and just talk, chat it up, and I can give you some more advice personally, where we can get into more detail, then let me know. And we can just hop right into it, have a little chat. I don't mind helping you guys out at all.